Hello, everyone, and welcome in to NerdyTenor's Computer Solves Fantasy Football. This is the weekly EndGame Syndicate stream with myself, Davis Mattek, NerdyTenor, and Mr. We run Dan simulations live while we draft UnderDog Battle Royale teams. We get into what the sim is trying to do, why I'm smarter than the sim, and why the sim is smarter than me. We're doing it early this week. We all had stuff going on Thursday, so this is like the one we did 2 weeks ago. We've kind of hacked into the projections a little bit to give, the teams are going to look a little bit different this week, I think, than they did last week. Boys, how are we doing? Are we excited? Do we think we have an edge this week? What's going on? How are we doing?
Well, let's see. I got killed on the Monday Night Football underdog. I think I did like 22 drafts and like two of them cashed. One guess which quarterback I was overweight on.
Jordan Love.
The one that got pulled out. Yeah. Once again, my stuff was more willing to wait on quarterback than a lot of other drafters, which I think is interesting. Not sure if it's correct, but I think it's interesting. And that did not work out so well for me. It wasn't like I got only him, but I got a lot more than my fair share. But as far as you titled this, computer solved. I'm just sitting here trying to get my code to compile and like my software not to crash. So people were worried about solved games and AI alignment problem and Skynet, and like I'm just trying to get this to work. So
it's a good title, though. It's a good clickbait title.
It's an excellent. Yeah.
I mean, it's about as good as titles get. What's so funny is I don't know if it's because we're streaming this on Brian's channel and the Endgame channel, but this weekly is one of my lowest watch videos. But I feel like if I was to tell someone you can watch one of my videos per week, this is probably the most informative in terms of like thinking about the games and how. I mean, not that my advice is all that good, but just thinking about how fantasy intersects with programming and all that stuff, and thinking about how the computer can help you win at a math-based game.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely because it's a big part of it is because we're streaming to 3 different channels. We could probably stop streaming to my channel after this point. So if anyone is on my channel,
it doesn't bother me.
I just wanted people who followed me on that channel to sign up for Endgame too, who weren't aware of it. So let's pull that one off after this week.
I'm happy to be sending people to the EndGame Syndicate YouTube channel. It's not, but like I think even combined, so like the Thursday salary cap DFS video gets like 5,000 views, and like combined between EndGame and this one, this is getting. And I mean obviously BR is like a smaller game than salary cap DFS, but I am thinking that the computer solves fantasy football will be a good. I am expecting I'm expecting it to be greater this week. I think there will be more views this week with this title. I don't remember if I did a good thumbnail or not, but
you can I don't care. You can keep getting more clickbaity for me. I know Dan might care, but I don't.
Pete was making fun of me for my titles the other day. He's like, dude, your titles are crazy. Mostly what I do is I let vidIQ determine the title. Like I type in the subject material. I'm like simulation, computer, fantasy football, and then I just choose whichever vidIQ one is best. But this was all me. The computer solves fantasy football was all me. All right, Dan, explain, because we are doing this on a Tuesday, what you have hacked together for our guidance inside The Sims today.
Well, we got 2 things. One is whatever RG has, but the second thing is Brian put together a system where he's basically tweaked the projections so that they match the ADPs we are seeing thus far. Is that a fair characteristic? Yeah. So it's basically like just juicing the projections up and down so that the ADPs land roughly where you see them in Underdog. I will say that so when you run this through my stuff, what happens is, as you would expect, the relative ADP of players in a given position start to correlate more and more with what's on Underdog, as you would expect. So like, looking at the current rankings, you get Jordan Mason and then Derrick Henry, and then the next running back's Kyron Williams. So my stuff starts to match that, as you would expect. However, it still disagrees a little bit with when in the order it wants to pick certain positions. So if you look at the ADP on Underdog, it's got Allen and Lamar at position like 7.2 and 8.8. Whereas if I bring up mine, which I'll do in just a second, it's going to be a little bit later than that.
Yeah, I will say, as of right now, if ADP stays static this way until Sunday, I won't have any of those players. I would take Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson over Metcalf, Reid, Debo 0% of the time. I don't think there's any frequency in which it is correct to take those guys first. I expect that to change probably by the end of the day. I expect Lamar and Josh Allen's ADP to fall. Based on my, and again, I don't like to act like an expert on these shows because people know so much more about BR than I do. But my read of the situation is that by tomorrow, these guys are going to be like 3rd round picks, basically.
Yeah. So running with what Brian gave me, just to make it explicit right now, and I'm still cooking, but it's probably pretty close. Allen and Jackson are averaging around 11th and 12th. So right around the 2-3 turn is where it's picking them, as opposed to 8th and 7th or whatever. Yeah.
This is an interesting thing. I think people draft bad on purpose in the playbook, the ADP. I think people either auto draft it or draft bad on purpose to make the Monday ADPs bad. I really do think
How much EV can that? You have to give up the money that you pay to get in there to screw with the projections. I'm not sure that's the best strategy.
That would be I think it's a bad strategy. It doesn't mean people aren't doing it, but
or maybe the Sunday contests are people who literally like don't even know what it is, and they're just they're just sick degens on a Sunday. They're like. I just lost everything. I got owned on DraftKings. I lost all my pick'ems. Like, just give me a way to get my money back. And they log into the playbook and they're like, fuck it, Josh Allen.
What if there's like a disproportionate amount of degens in the Buffalo area, and they just love taking Josh Allen?
It could be as simple as the team that was playing on Sunday night, which was the Bills. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm watching Josh Allen, so I want to click Josh Allen right now. Or the converse, they play so bad. They're playing so bad on TV. Like, we're already seeing this with Achan and
Achan is too low. Yeah.
How many are in that initial ADP tournament, Davis? Like, how many entries?
It's $1,000 to first, so it's got to be like 1,100 entries total.
1,100. That's pretty solid.
That's a reasonable.
Pretty
number.
Reasonable. By today's what day is today? Tuesday. Yeah. It's going to change, obviously. Like, if you looked at, I saw you had Jaden Reed at 100% owned. We haven't projected it. And, I mean.
Hey, give me some credit last week. I said Jaden Reed was the most important, best play on the slate last week.
That's why I'm bringing it up. I'm letting you victory watch.
Well, but at the same token, you got to let me eat my shit, because I was all over Kelsey last week, and Rashee Rice was, I believe, my most drafted player, and he played a snap before he yeah, I could have maybe found a winner last week, I think, looking at my stuff, if the Chiefs had done a full 4 quarters, but obviously they did not do that.
Yeah,
so
I had almost 50% of him too. I took 58th in the Millie even with him killing half my lineups. But
Dan, my Discord noted that you were in 3rd of the DK Millie with Dontavian Wicks, which you would have no way of knowing this, but Dontavian Wicks is like, he's my most drafted player in Best Ball Mania. Like, he's like my guy. And people were like, it's so funny that Dan would have Wicks and like not even know that he does this show with Davis every week, who's like the Dontavian Wicks guy.
Was I in 3rd briefly? That's funny.
I think after his 2nd touchdown, you were in 3rd. Yeah.
That's so funny. I was watching a concert. I had no idea. That's really funny.
What'd you finish at? Do you remember?
In the Millie? Oh gosh.
Nothing good.
Nothing fancy. Let me see. I can look.
I was up there in the FanDuel one, and then so I'm like, I'm not gonna sweat it. And then I turned back and it's like, you're 350th. It's like, okay.
Oh, actually, I'm an idiot. The reason why I didn't win last week was Kyler was my second most drafted quarterback, and that was super terrible.
My top entry in the Millie was 73rd.
Did it have Dontavian Wicks?
It did have Dontavian Wicks.
That must have been the team.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan, are we cooked? Are we ready to run?
We're cooked enough. I just keep it cooking as we're on the stream.
Okay.
All right. I think I'm probably gonna have to enter these on my phone. It was giving me a tough time earlier.
Oh, God damn it.
No. Okay, we're good.
Oh, you got it. Woohoo.
All right. I'm gonna put in our private chat the timestamps because I think timestamps help. Timestamps help on the secondary, on having people so Brian, when you do this on the EndGame channel, put these timestamps in.
So the updates to my software for this week are all sort of nuts and bolts stuff, but little faster to run. Also, I save all of the drafts it's generated, so I can stop and resume it without losing my work, which is really nice.
Okay.
But I'll talk about what I'm looking at next because the thing I'm going to do next is actually kind of interesting for strategy. So I'm going to be working on that the next few days.
So you think ultimately, like in the end, I'm going to be able to beat Peter at this? Peter had 2 top 10s this week. Ultimately, do we think on this show I'm gonna draft a winner that wins Battle Royale? What do you think? If you this is good.
It's really hard.
Set the line at the odds that over the course of however long we do this show, 17 weeks or whatever, that we draft the top 10 team on this show.
On the show?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 60,000+ entries, right? So to be a top 10 team is well, let's figure this out first. What are we doing? So it's saying Kyron Williams here.
Yeah, that's who I had.
Yeah. The odds, well, top 600 would be a 1% finish. Top 60 would be a 0.1% finish.
But we have the NerdyTenor EndGame Syndicate branded Sims. Yeah, the odds are 50-50. Either it happens or it doesn't.
Happens or not. You can't argue with that. It's just logic.
I mean, Pete, he's given me hope as a hand drafter because obviously when 90% of these I'm just doing while I'm walking my dog. So it's got to be deeper than this. It's got to be more like 50-1 or 60. Like it's got to be really, really deep
to get a top 10. Yeah, I mean, how many are we gonna do you think?
Well, let's expand it. Let's just say I draft the top 10 team this year, on the show or not.
Okay, that's obviously a much higher.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna guess your computer wants Achan.
Let's see, Marvin Harrison. What? Okay, let's see. What? It wants either Achan. Yeah, Achan is winning. Achan is the winner. Achan and Josh Allen are popping up, contradicting what I said before.
I think I just am maybe going to institute a rule that I'm not taking Allen or Lamar with the second pick, even when the
computer also likes Deebo Samuel, Josh Jacobs there.
Davis, what's the point of us getting a top 10 team if you're just going to overrule the
computer? All right. This is a small enough subset. This is a small enough subset of my drafts that I can just do what the computer says. Now, this is a pretty good point. Achan is going way down in this stuff. He by Friday he is gonna be like a 4th round pick in this.
Yeah, so maybe you keep it in your back pocket. No.
Yeah. Kenneth Walker going really early after the 3 touchdown game last night. It's pretty classic stuff.
Yeah, he went off.
Gino had 400 passing yards, but only the 1 touchdown. Kittle is going. He's kind of the only tight end who's going really early this week. All right, we are up in Deontay Johnson going really early. All right, we are up.
So now
it's definitely gonna take one of the QBs.
It likes Lamar at the moment. It likes Josh Allen at the moment.
What's the
Neighbors is the next thing after Allen and Jackson. It wants Josh Allen now because it's based off of the order that Brian gave. Yeah, it likes Josh Allen a fair bit here.
Just take him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it.
It's the third round, not the second.
Yeah, I would have taken. Ideally, I would like to have like 25% of my teams have Malik Neighbors on them this week.
I'm interested in what it tells us later on.
Yeah.
So there goes Neighbors.
This, Brian, the set we're running right now is your ADP regression model.
That's right.
Yeah, which we probably should have updated one more time, but
okay, now it likes Wicks, it likes Kincaid. It likes Kincaid the most right now.
Wow. So this, I'm wondering, did you do anything to it differently based on what has been in the past? Because the last couple times we've done this, it has not always gone to the correlation immediately.
It's probably just noise.
We've only done a few drafts.
We haven't done enough to really know, I think.
You know, we got to get 10,000 drafts in a week, or there's no way of knowing. So I actually like this team. I mean, I'm not like super jazzed about A-Chain right now. Like, obviously, I like A-Chain more than my opponents do generally, like regardless of the game. But this construction, Allen and Kincaid, 2 stud running backs, 2 scroll wide receivers, I think is pretty strong.
What's Kincaid's ownership as of now? Which also won't be very accurate for a couple of days.
I mean, I'm gonna guess he ends up 90%. He's the tight end 2. All right, it's gonna want Wicks.
Wait,
he got drafted.
He did get drafted. Yeah, it's saying Zay Flowers. There's a lot of choices. Zay Flowers, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Shakir if you want to double stack. T. They're all really close. So this is a good no draft or no ball spot.
All right, I'm gonna no ball.
Ayuk is up there.
I'm gonna no ball. DJ Moore.
All right.
Used to play for the Carolina Panthers.
He also is the lesser owned right there in that group as of now.
And I am just biased towards DJ Moore. He's like one of my favorite players. So
Trey McBride is unknown status. Is that right?
He's gonna play. He's gonna play. Concussion normally in the NFL now is a 10-day injury.
We have Kincaid at 100%, by the way, Davis.
Yeah.
So now it's got more choices. Ayuk is winning at the moment.
Does it want me to scroll at all? Does it care?
It likes Ayuk by about 80 cents more than the next swath. Then it's got Cooper, Higgins, Christian Kirk, Shakir again.
I'm gonna go T Higgins. I'm a never Ayuker.
Yeah, because Ayuk's ADP is so high, it's a lot of value. I'm assuming that it doesn't want
a lot of value. That is, I'm skating to where the puck is going, which is I think Ayuk is gonna. It looks like he might go undrafted in this. The thing about Brandon Ayuk is that he's not very good, and so that is an interesting thing that it's hard for the projection systems to gather. I ran this filter on StatHead earlier today. It's only this is only the 3rd time in Brandon Ayuk's career that he's had a stretch of 4 games with less than 180 receiving yards combined, which is pretty interesting.
Is Samuel back this week?
Yeah, he was back last week.
Was he? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. He didn't do anything, right?
Yeah. Okay, what did it think that team was worth?
$6.26.
Nice. We are up $1.26. Eventually I will get the production values to have an EV counter while we draft these.
Usual caveat, the number doesn't mean much. I basically just run a random number generator and have it spit out a random dollar amount.
Well, then it should tell me much more. It should be telling me my teams are worth like $40 then. I will say here, let's look at my results from last week real quick. And we can say how bad I am or not. So Did not. I got $527 back on $750 of entry fees. But when you look at my exposure, it's pretty clear that I skated around it. So Jaden Daniels, let me put this timestamp in. Week 4 results check. Okay. So Jaden Daniels was my most drafted quarterback. Kyron Williams, Barkley, Aaron Jones, Mason. Brees was definitely a miss, but I had more Kamara than the field. Jaden Reed was my 3rd most drafted wide receiver, but that's why I didn't win any money. Was 22% Rashi.
Rashi killed you, yeah.
And 15% Murray. So those teams were dead. So that is roughly 35% of my teams-ish that are completely dead, couldn't win money. And then Bowers, so 23% of teams dead. I did end up swapping onto a lot of Kittle. I think I feel fine about what I did. It's like, sometimes you just run bad with Rushy, I guess.
So I did 29 entries and I got $45 back. Not the greatest.
You were trying stuff though.
Yeah, I was mucking about.
I did 4 and I think I lost all 4. I might have cashed 1. How do you see it?
It's
results. The results tab.
Got it. Yeah, no, 5 bagels.
5 bagels. See, I wonder if any of my teams were even close. Looks like my best team, yeah, not even close.
I got a lot of rice. I had 30% rice. Yeah. Because he was going kind of late and then he moved up.
Yes, yeah. If you had started drafting them, like if you were testing your tool on like Tuesday or Wednesday, he was a 2nd round pick. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a good bit.
Which I like drafting early. I think a lot of people are going the other way. I think most of the sharper players are saying you should just draft once you have the projections and the information.
Yeah.
I sort of prefer the combos that we're able to get early in the week that become, obviously you are giving up massive informational edge drafting on a Monday and Tuesday. Like the entries that are getting drafted on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I wouldn't know how to put it into a dollar value, but it's worth a lot, the information that you're getting then.
Sure.
Even something as simple as like knowing which queue players to take to set up swaps is a big edge, you know? And we've got none of that. All right, are we ready for another?
Sure. Can use the same model a few times.
Sure. Okay. Let's enter into another one. I'm interested to see, does it have each spot as similar EVs, or does it really like the 101? Does it really like the 102 this week?
Yeah. That's interesting. I could test that. Where are we? We're 4 again? We're 4 again.
4 again. So I think I like 4 because you can get, sometimes you should be able to get Nico, but you can take Kyron and you can take Metcalf or Reid. Metcalf and Reid sort of feel like the skeleton keys to me this week. That's my think. That's my thinking. Drafting early allows us ball knowers to get plus EV. That's sort of my thought. Is it does allow you to kind of guess what the projections are going to say. Like a good example this week is Ramondre Stevenson. He's like undrafted right now, running back 15. When the projections come out in this matchup against Miami, he's going to move. He's going to move way up. Not that I even think he's that great of a play, but that's just an example. Yeah, this probably doesn't matter so much for you guys, but the entire best ball community is just waiting on completely bated breath for the idea that Rashee Rice might not have a torn ACL, that it might just be like a bone bruise or like the injury that Embiid had, the MCL sprain, where just like theoretically that would allow him to play again this year.
I thought he was done for sure.
I can run EVs for the other spots just to see what it thinks of EVs. So I'll just list off what it thought the best EV play was worth at each node. So it had $7.66 for the first pick. So it looks like it likes first at the moment. Although these are running for so short, I don't know. Like shit. Now I'm behind.
We get Nico. So it's
Yeah,
all good.
just take him. I would say. Yeah, he's first. Like good bit.
I do love when I don't have to overrule the Sims and the Sims just agree with me.
Yeah, just take Nico. Nico it is.
My man Tyler ran into Joel Embiid at a hospital 2 or 3 weeks ago. Did he seem in good spirits? Did he say anything about Paul George? I will say starting with Nico does leave you in kind of a tricky spot where you're probably double scrolling for running back. Like you're probably almost waiting to the end. You might be doing ETN is my ball knowing pick of the week, where he's a 6th round pick like 100% of the time. But I quite like him as a click.
Interesting.
Yeah. People famously, we got to call this model the Steven Sim, right?
Yeah.
1 week burned in everyone's brain.
The Ramondre Stevenson, yeah. See, people they do. That's all they love. They love Dan's keyboard and they remember Ramondre Stevenson. All right, we are up.
So now it's saying, okay, Debo, Jaden Reed winning at the moment. Debo, Neighbors. Jaden Reed is currently winning. Marvin Harrison is pops now. Yeah. It wants a wide receiver. That's all I can tell you for sure. But they're bouncing around.
Ball knowing take for me is Neighbors over Marvin Harrison Jr. That's an early ball knower take for me.
We got Jaden.
We got Jaden Reed.
Okay.
Johnny Football knows you like DJ Moore. Sniped him right in front of you.
Yeah. Wow. He's really scrolling.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
Yeah. So the thing with JT is he's not going to play. So that.
No.
Yeah. He's got the dreaded high ankle. He's got the dreaded high ankle sprain. Yeah. And it's having to swap your 2nd round pick feels pretty non-ideal, right?
No.
Yeah.
I can't see why you would want that.
Yeah.
That's probably just a mistake. The person didn't know.
It is. He is a no badger. All right, we are on the clock.
HN going round 3. That's interesting. So now, this is interesting. So I don't know what you think about this. It's listing digs, but that would imply we're double stacking, and then if we don't get Stroud, it's now Josh Jacobs is popping. Diggs, Jacobs, Kittle.
Who's winning?
Josh Jacobs at the moment. Yeah.
So I will say, I don't hate the double stack this week, but it's not for any logical reason. It's just because this would be an example of me being bad at the game. I'll just click Diggs in any format because he's playing against Buffalo, and I think very similar to the game against Minnesota, Diggs got 3 targets on that first drive against Minnesota, and they're going to do the exact same thing. He's going to get some extra targets. Wow, DeAndre Swift goes.
Okay, so now it's saying Kittle or James Cook.
Kittle.
Those are winning the most right now.
Kittle seems pretty good. I don't think
Daniels is in 3rd for what it's worth. So it's Kittle, Cook, Daniels is the order it likes at the moment.
I don't think Trey Sermon is draftable in this because you like if JT does play, you just have a 0. Like you just drafted a team worth $0. So the EV trade-off is not there. If you want to draft Trey Sermon, you got to wait for Friday. Brian, what team do your Sims want me to stack in DFS for baseball?
I'm not playing today. Is the playoffs going on today or what's going on?
Today.
I have to play for crowns. Like you can't miss a day.
It's all about those crowns.
And
it's literally the only reason I play.
Yeah, the four gamers are still pretty good, I think, for DFS. But then I don't really like when it gets smaller.
Well, you have to. This is like a very swappy slate because all the games are so spread out.
Mm,
So you're not going to know all the lineups, and even
right.
if you did, you might want to adjust because you actually have time to do it. Is that Wandale Robinson? I just saw.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. Okay,
My man is typing for his life.
So it's saying Kenneth Walker.
Wow, I love it.
Yep.
Wow, I actually haven't got. This is a big ADP value on Walker.
Yeah, it's saying it's by a very good margin.
You know what I just realized? I wasn't even paying close enough attention. We just took Jacobs and Reid together, which is interesting.
Huh. I didn't see that either.
I'm sure.
I see.
Sure, it's not that big of a deal, but I probably wouldn't do that hand building.
Yeah.
And they are kind of competing because Reid gets some rush attempts. That's sort of interesting one. And then I wonder who it wants us to take a quarterback. I wonder if it's going to want us to take Love, Purdy, or Stroud.
Yeah, I don't have a strong take. I've only done a few drafts of this. So.
My guess is since we took the 2 Packers, Reid could always score a rushing touchdown, so maybe it doesn't want Love. But with the 2 Packers, it's probably going to want us to take Love.
That would be my guess. Okay, there it goes. Oh, Devin.
Caleb Williams, is that you drafting on your alt, Brian?
No, but I like the pick.
Okay, it's Love and Stroud are leading, and it likes Love more at the moment.
Yeah, my guess that's got to be the team. It's got to be the teammate thing.
I think so.
Which is fine. I mean, I think it's pretty funny that Jordan Love's the quarterback 4 in ADP after he didn't really get drafted last week. This is one of the funniest things about this game is how you see last week's results so clearly bleed into what people are doing this week. It's a very reactionary game.
It
loves your team.
Yeah. I was
I
just going to say,
I thought it was worth like $28.
$28. Oh my God.
But again, that's assuming, but you need to understand what Brian had to do to get this to work. He had to push the projections of all the players to get them to fit in the ADP. So it doesn't actually.
No, it's dead on. It's dead on accurate. You're probably going to win.
I will.
Will anyone else have a good team? Probably not, since we got Levy.
I don't know who the last guy drafted, but if I assume something reasonable, it liked your team and it liked the first person's team, and it had Jordan Mason, Debo, Marvin Harrison, James Cook, Brock Bowers, and Kyler Murray. So it liked that one.
How about the second team? I'm assuming you didn't like that one.
It was okay. Second team was Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Neighbors, Daniels, Wandale Robinson, and David Njoku. I think the one that liked the least was the 5th player had Chase, DJ Moore, Joe Mixon and Swift, Evan Engram, and Caleb Williams. So had Williams with Swift and Jamar, but I think it thought it was just too low projected to be very good. Just didn't have enough projection.
That's the real thread the needle, right? Of do you take the low projected team for the discount and ownership, or do you just stack up high projected players knowing that they're all like roughly 100% owned?
I mean, it does make sense. Like, I know from baseball, like you find, and it makes perfect sense that whenever you're playing players, so for people that don't play baseball, stacking is a big part of the strategy. So in big GPPs, you're typically playing a bunch of players from the same team because when batters do well, that means they're not getting out, so there's more at-bats for the other players, and so they all correlate, and you can bat in other players who are on base, et cetera, et cetera. So all the batters are positively correlated on the same team. So one thing you find in baseball when you sim things out is the worse projected a batter is, the more likely you're taking him as part of a stack. Because if you're eating the cost of taking a bad player, you might as well get the benefit from the stack goes off and you get the other guys too. So you're much less likely to see a bad solo batter in a good lineup than a good solo batter in a lineup that is a batter without his teammates. You're rarely just absolute punting that position in a big slate. So I wonder if the similar thing doesn't happen here, where if it's like, well, I got backed into a corner and I'm find myself stuck with the Bears, I guess I'll take another one and the quarterback to sort of at least ramp up my upside. But again, knowing where the cutoff is tricky, right?
So that same thing does happen in fantasy football, but in a little bit different of a way, where you're not getting the extra plate appearances, but what you're doing is you're altering the team total. So like if I'm going to take Jordan Love and then I take Romeo Doubs with the last pick, I'm taking shitty projected Romeo Doubs because I think that the Packers inputted team total should be 31, not 24, which would make Romeo Doubs' projection better. Is the underlying football thing.
Yeah, or you're just playing for that eventuality. You're like, this is the team that does well when the team total is just way off.
Or there's more leverage. Say the team total is the same, but the underlying market shares are wrong. Like Dontavian Wicks actually has a 9% market share, not a 25% market share or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, that makes
sense. I don't think it's you think the spread is off. You just understand it's in the realm of the distribution around the spread.
Sure.
These outcomes can occur.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's the likelihood of which you disagree with the market on, or at least inside the individual lineup.
Yeah, or it's just a good gamble, because if the team does go off, these guys are likely to be the ones who benefit.
Hey, it's a good skill. You mean this is a skill. This is a base game.
That's what I meant. Yes.
All right. Ready for another one, Dan?
Sure. Do you want to? Yeah. Do you want to stay with the same system?
No. Let's change systems. What else do we have available?
So the other one we have is based on, I think. Do I have Blitz? Let me see how out of date this is, because if it got updated, I should probably rerun it.
Okay.
That's from a long time ago. I think we better go with what we got, because I don't think this is updated enough. So let me switch back over. This is the thing about doing stuff early in the week, like a lot of sites don't have the projections out, so it's another edge for team no ball. But I guess
team no ball definitely has the advantage until Thursday. Then the computer knowers take over.
But then the question is, like, you also have to consider how many ball knowers are you drafting with. Like, it's one thing, if it's just lots of people who all have the same information as you, it still might have some value. But if there are too many, what's the term? Spreadsheet virgins in all of your drafts, it might not be that much of an edge, because they're all just gonna grab the same.
Well, ball knowers should want to draft against spreadsheet versions because they think spreadsheet versions are bad at the game.
Okay, ball knower. What's the ball knower version of the spreadsheet? Like, so what's your experience in terms of, like, your sense of how many people are properly using the early week information when you do
my sense is that people are definitely worse at drafting teams on Monday and Tuesday than they are later, because they're making faulty assumptions. They're wrong on the information that they're guessing. They're bad at knowing which players are going to rise in ADP. Doesn't mean that I'm good at it. And in fact, I think you could make an argument. There's already been 2 big mistakes I've made. Week 3, I was drafting Cam Akers when Mixon was going to be out. So I ended up getting that information correct, but it ended up not mattering because Cam Akers absolutely sucks ass, which is a pretty relevant part of the discussion. And then last week, I was late to doing Kittle, and then Kittle also ended up being super high owned. because you could swap into him. Because he wasn't drafted early in the week. So I wasn't getting, there was no ownership edge to be gained, really. And a lot of people now, the people that I know who are playing the game, who are willing to give up some of their strategy, are just saying the ball knowing stuff early in the week, you're just wasting your time. Just wait to get the informational edge. And then people are still playing suboptimally on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you can still draft winners Friday, Saturday, Sunday with the informational edge.
I'd be very inclined, like if you were doing this at high volume, like you were, I would take the following data. Every time you enter a draft, how many of your opponents have no badge? And just track that over time. I think that would be really interesting. And then that's when I would be trying to draft the most.
It's got to be way more badge bros on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
right.
It
has to be. Yeah.
I would start tracking. I might start tracking that.
We could track that with the caddy, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, did they list the badge?
There's got to be something in that HTML.
That's true. It should be on
badge.
The yeah.
Let's inspect the element. Let's enter into a draft, and I will inspect. Well, I'm showing off that the chat taught me how to inspect element last week.
And then what?
Oh, there's one. You got one.
You didn't know how to inspect the element, huh?
I mean, I know how to like right click and do it, but I'd never gone into the HTML before. They showed me how to do it to fuck with the draft board after a draft was done and change the name of someone's team.
And then what do you want with that information, Dan?
I would just chart it over time. Like when are the times to have the best chance of drafting against people who are just giving up value?
All right, we got the 101. Does it want me to take Mason or Nico?
It wants you to take Mason or Henry.
Like what day or time of day, right?
Yeah, day and time of day. Yeah, I can start grabbing that.
Yeah, this is great point. Drafting in the middle of a fucking workday, virgin time.
Yeah, it wants Jordan Mason.
It's so funny, man. The slappies have been kind of slow to Mason. Like I bet Mason over the weeks I've been doing this, since I've been really devoting time to this, I bet Mason is the player I've been the most cumulatively overweight on, and now he's the 101.
Yeah, I think I can say the same thing. Ramondre Stevenson notwithstanding, I think I've had a lot of Mason. Yeah, so so I let that run for a long time, and it just gives you a rough idea what it thinks of the EV. So it thinks your EV as player one is about $6.27. So
I
it doesn't.
have to try and maintain that for the rest of the draft.
Well, I'm gonna try and make it up.
Yeah, I would assume Friday and Saturday nights gotta be that has to be the winter time where people they've been drinking. They're up late. Yeah, that's got to be.
Yes, maybe even Friday night too. But yeah, definitely. That's what I was going to say too.
Or literally at the bar drafting on your phone. Not that I don't know anything about that.
I've been drafting in all kinds of funny places. I drafted at a Grateful Dead cover show the other night. Just you got to fire them in.
Yeah, I just had my. I had a massage and I was like, oh, there's this headrest. I'm like, can you hack together like 2 other rests so I can lay my phone when I'm lying down so I can draft like during the massage? That would be awesome.
What's wrong with you guys?
Not really.
I'd expect better from you, Dan.
I thought about it. I didn't actually do that.
Oh, okay.
It occurred to me.
Davis is a millennial. He has to be entertained at all seconds. At all times.
If I'm ever alone with my thoughts, dude, my God. Scary stuff.
With Jordan Mason, though, I think it's telling you that the number 1 pick is worth about $1 something this week. Right? Isn't that kind of what it's saying?
No, it was saying, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a $5. God, I thought it was 10 for a second. I got confused. Yeah, it thinks it's worth about $1 or a little more because of rake.
Right.
So let's see what it thinks you're at now. Yeah. So now it's saying Harrison. It wants Marvin Harrison. All right. So we're gonna take him, I assume.
We're gonna take Harrison, and then we can let it cook for
I'll let it
40
cook on the other
seconds.
one. So now we might want to deviate. So it likes Achan here, but it likes Achan by a good bit. Then the next thing it likes is Kittle, but it likes Achan by like more than $1. I don't know why, but he could fall to you again because. So it's listing Achan and then Jacobs and Cook, and then Kittle.
Let's do Achan. You know, even if it's not the right pick, I do enjoy when the computer tells me that my teams are worth a lot of money.
It still thinks you're worth about $6.15, so not a lot of movement.
Yeah, Achan is just like structurally, he's a pretty interesting one because his ADP is going to fall.
Right.
But I think he will be a sharp drafter favorite. Like I think, like if you were able to run an analysis of like players who consistently submit plus EV lineups, I'm going to guess Achan would occur at a higher rate in their lineups because his projection is going to be better than his ADP, I think.
Right. Yeah, and my stuff is always going to prefer the projection. Right?
Yeah.
Although Brian's thing is changing the projections to match the ADP, so we're doing it's kind of like a hybrid-y thing that we're looking at in a way right now.
What's the Dolphins' backfield supposed to look like this week, Davis? Do you know?
Mostert should be back.
Yeah.
This upcoming week.
I feel like
If he's back, who would you start sit? Question: Rashad White or Mostert?
Probably Rashad White.
Still.
He just because he's got all the passing down work, like that is not going to go away. So he's got a pretty safe floor, and the Dolphins just look like such dog shit, like so bad. Although Huntley literally seemed to have not known the plays on Monday night, and maybe with another week of practice, he literally does learn the plays, which seems like that would be an edge. You trying to beat Bob and Nancy's excellent team?
Yeah, it's not working out.
Yeah. All right.
Working out.
Mason, Achan, Harrison. Curious. I kind of conceptually like George Kittle and Jordan Mason together a little bit. I don't know why. That's that's some intuition there. It seems like the computer likes them together a little bit too.
Yeah.
Could be a good Caleb week. Could be a good 1% owned Caleb week, Brian, if you want to draft some of these. How many of your 5 teams last week were Caleb teams?
I don't think I got any actually. I didn't think that far ahead. Who did I have?
It is kind of a funny thing doing these and being like, when you're just firing them off and then you get to the end and you're like, I just did 20 drafts and all I did was chalk. I didn't scroll down for a unique snack at all.
Yeah.
Here
we go. 2 more picks.
We are up.
This is interesting. What do we got? What? Okay, it's saying Deontay Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, Trey McBride. Oh, that's interesting. If you take Trey McBride, it's probably going to make you take Kyler Murray with him, I would guess.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson they're all close. So Trey McBride is currently winning, and Deontay.
I did Deontay.
Here, let me see.
We need a quarterback and a tight end.
So interesting. It's still saying. Oh wow! So it's saying Trey McBride. Trey McBride, then Kyler Murray, then Andy Dalton. That's the current listing.
All right, we're gonna do the Giga. We're gonna do the Giga Cardinal stack. No way this could be good, but it is fun.
Yeah, what is going on?
It might be good. Why not?
See.
If it is good, it's only good because it's so combinatorially unique. Like because Kyler goes later, but both of his weapons go high.
I mean, last week you could have won with a Kraft and Wicks.
Yeah, the
Reid.
thing is doing the combining the tight end with the stack does make it better because the bar for scoring at tight ends has been so low.
Yeah, I mean, I think you underestimate double stacks a little bit.
I want to look at the tight end curve projection. Yeah, it's pretty thin at tight end.
Yeah, the Sims are not accounting for things like that. The Sims just care about the projection.
But the projection has fantasy points and baked into it.
Well,
right, it should have that already there.
mean, but that kind of analysis is like ninth order. You know what I mean? Like it's just not a big part of the game anymore.
I mean, it depends on the sim you're using too. It should be a play-by-play sim would be literally the game being played out.
Right.
Yeah, but none of the I mean maybe Dan's stuff is play-by-play, but like the public-facing sims, like the solver does not do play-by-play sim.
Well, Run the Sims does.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a really interesting thing to test.
And Saber Sim, I think, might too. Sorry, go ahead.
We could test Run the Sims versus more naive approaches and see the relative rates of double stacking in each. That would be an interesting experiment.
Yeah.
If we see a delta there that's significant, that might be a clue that sim level double stacking is overrated because it's not accounting for well enough for what we were just talking about.
Right.
Okay, so the next guy already has a quarterback, so I can skip him and go right to you. And guess who's winning?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
That is correct. Yeah.
He's not getting drafted all the time either yet.
No, he won't be because so many people are like me where he just burnt the shit out of them and they don't want to give him another opportunity.
Yep. It's
Yep, so it thinks $8.52 for this one.
all right.
Brian,
how much money we made so far? We got
that's
3 ways.
I was gonna say that's at least $40. Brian, do you want to share your screen and do one? I hear my puppy crying upstairs. I think she might need to go out real quick. Can you handle this for like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Kind of fun. It'll be fun to see the results of if you trust the computer more than I do.
I gotta switch mine to the night vision. How do I do that?
The night vision.
I don't want to freak people out.
All right, I will be right back.
Okay. Right. You want to rip one?
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Be there.
Can go over the ownership really quick.
Oh yeah, good idea.
So right now we got 1, 2, 3, 4 QBs drafted every time. Jordan Love probably. This needs to be refreshed, I think, maybe. There it goes. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 or 10 QBs getting drafted. Looks like the top 6 or 7 RBs are kind of locked in.
How
Which makes sense.
How big of a drop off is the? I haven't looked at that yet.
After Jonathan Taylor Thomas, it starts dropping off to a second shelf of Connor, Robinson, Mixon, and then the shelf after that's Hubbard, Swift, Stevenson. I'm assuming ETN's getting drafted too. There might be a name problem here with this junior thing.
Right. Cool. All right. Yeah, I am ready for the next one.
Okay. Let's rock.
Do.
Oh, this will be interesting. I'll let it queue me up a player with my with the draft caddy too. See what it suggests.
Uh-huh. You managed to get the last draft position.
Oh, that's the best spot. we're gonna get so much EV. I don't think we can beat $23. That's gonna be pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, I can't remember what happened. So I've said this on the stream before, but one of the things to consider is that so if you use my software and somebody punts a pick, like for a really long time, you're gonna get a boost of projection and this huge boost in ownership because like nobody ever got to pick that guy in the 6th round in my sim because everybody's playing quote unquote well in my sim. So it's going to overestimate your EV by a good bit because in the real world, like there are drafts that people punt in all the time. It's still plus EV, but it's not going to be the magnitude that my stuff is saying it is.
And we had a couple in that draft. I think we had Walker and Jordan Love.
Yes. All right. So goes Chase Nico. Looks like.
Oh yeah, let me
Walker the third. Jaden Reid. Okay.
Henry
is
and
going.
us.
It's gonna say
Mason for sure,
Mason.
right?
Take Mason. I don't even need to read on that one. And then now it says just go ahead and take Kyron Williams.
Okay, that's what the caddy suggested too.
Nice.
The Mason makes it. The Mason was obvious.
Yeah, got it.
So this, like, we're automatically going to get EV, basically.
Yeah, at this point, because we'd have to get really unlucky not to at this point.
Right.
Okay. Can you put up the?
Yeah. My bad. I'm used to it.
We'd love to see Allen and Lamar go.
This is a good question. Does the sim calculate the odds that they punt so bad underdog throws the draft out?
Yeah, this is a real problem. Kudos to them for trying to keep track of that stuff, but how do I put this? I have questions about how they handle the potential for collusion. I think the approach needs refining, because just thinking about it, there's sort of like a perverse incentive. Like if your draft starts going really poorly for you, can you just play like a lunatic and hope it gets invalidated? I mean,
a guy did that and got busted.
Yeah, kind of hard to do in the 6-mans. People definitely did do it in the Best Ball Mania or whatever, and they got banned for it.
Got banned, yeah.
All
no,
right,
I understand. It's not something I would ever do. I think the method of just looking for rare combos and having them just sort of ad hoc and validate drafts is probably not a great approach. No offense to.
I thought they might be too strict at throwing some. You gotta give these donkeys an opportunity.
I actually think they are, because I think they do it by projection. And sometimes you might want to. There might be like real valid reasons to take a projection that sucks.
So it's recommending Neighbors or Kincaid.
We got
Neighbors. Okay. Now it's saying. Oh, interesting. Diggs or Stroud. It likes Diggs a little better because then you can do other things, I guess.
Right now, the caddy's 1-for-1 with you.
Interesting.
Wow. So the caddy is the sim basically.
No simming going on now.
Is that Deontay Johnson that just got picked?
Oh, let me.
Okay.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson, James Cook.
James Cook. Okay, I'm caught up now.
My YouTube video yesterday was called Rashee Rice out for the season. Imagine if Rashee Rice is not out for the season. I'm gonna have to eat some crow. Tomorrow's video is gonna have to be Rashee Rice not out for the season. 9 exclamation points.
Well, you titled this "The Computer Solves Fantasy Football," so I don't think you're gonna have to redo any titles.
I don't know how you could watch this stream and not think that we're solved, bro. I mean, we're about to take. I think you just drafted the winner: Jordan Mason, Kyron Williams, Neighbors, Diggs, Stroud, and we toss in.
Oh, we can't. We are going to get Stroud. I mean, we passed.
Did we get locked in?
Yeah, we can get him. Well, I don't know. I assume it's going to have you take Stroud. If it doesn't, I'm going to reconsider my life choices as a software developer.
Stroud, and then who's our last pick?
We'll see.
A tight end.
Okay. So we can let it cook a little longer if we want. Here goes Trey McBride.
McBride would have been nice.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
But a little bit surprising, honestly.
Yeah, I think we were going to get a big EV score on this one. That one.
Okay. So it has Stroud up there, so you might as well just grab Stroud, and then we'll.
Okay. Well, I'll let it cook.
Let it cook. Right. I'll just...
see. Yeah, it wants Jordan Love. So.
Yeah, Jordan Love was not too far below, but it clearly wanted Stroud more. And now it says, you got choices. They're pretty close.
What are they? Why don't
you go ahead. Kraft, Schultz, Johnson. It's doing a lot of mixing here. A lot of mixing.
Who would you pick, Brian? No ball. Who would you pick?
Kraft, Schultz, or John? If I was just looking at these guys, I just automatically want to go to
Mark Andrews.
Cole Kmet because he's a bear.
They're all really close. It's just saying, mix it up here.
So who do you want, guys?
Tucker Kraft is winning, but just barely. It's like this is just you could just roll it down, whatever. Which is what it's doing basically. So yeah, it's gonna love this one. It thinks $20 on this one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Let's see what the other people come up with. I'll read off their keys.
It's been an hour, 2 minutes. I think we've made $10, 13 on another, $1 something on another one.
Yeah, Njoku Q tag there with the swap. That might have almost been GTO.
That makes sense, but I'm not gonna pay attention to my swaps. If this was on Davis's account, then maybe it would make more sense.
Somebody wants me to sim out week 14 12-man drafts. Yeah.
That's gotta be the dog bowl week, I'm assuming.
Okay, so this team that's coming up right here, it absolutely hates.
Johnny, he's in chat. He's right here. He's chatting.
Oh, no.
Right
now. He got screwed. According to my exactly precise.
What's Johnny Football's EV?
Which one was that? Was that third?
It's 2, I think.
2? Oh, 2.
Did you say team 3 was the bad one?
I did not like team 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did not love team 2 either. It was like a couple bucks. I guess it's not terrible. I mean, it's all fake anyway. It's just random number generation. They liked the first team a lot because he got a lot of fantasy points. Jamar, DK, Debo, HN, Bowers, and Love. No correlation with Love, I don't think. Wait, what's the bring back? Green Bay. Green Bay, who are you playing? Oh, Rams.
I think we've got about $30 an hour in EV.
Nice.
All right. We ready to fire up another one?
Sure. We can do one more or a few more. Oh, am I ready? I am ready.
Isn't that like minimum wage these days at like Wendy's?
Oh my God. All right. Brian, you trying to get me demonetized, bro?
Wait, I don't know.
That's gonna be a controversial topic, dude. I'm not gonna be able to get advertising revenue for this stream.
Because of the minimum wage.
So it's close. It's close to election season. In fact, I just said election demonetized.
Oh my
Instant demonetization.
What dollar value is my team worth if I take Nico Collins #1 overall in this?
Okay, let me start that up. So you're on the one.
It's
so,
probably like a few cents.
No, I think it's going to be more.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to.
I should donate back to the people a little bit because we've just been fucking steamrolling these nerds, you know.
But the earlier in the draft you are, the less you should trust my already untrustworthy.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to take Mason because what's going to happen is I'm going to end up with more Nico than the field anyway because I'm going to take him over Derrick Henry, and I want to have Mason.
Yeah, go ahead and grab Mason. So this was not a big sample. We can run it again at the end and just let it cook.
And see what Nico was?
Yeah. So for the very short sample, I thought Mason was worth $7 and a penny, and then Nico was like $5.04. So
yeah, that's right.
Thinks it was a pretty big delta, which is interesting.
Brian, you watch Rings of Power? You caught up?
I did not.
I'm caught up.
You're caught up, Dan?
Yeah.
Are you a big Tolkien guy? Like
I'll watch all of the fantasy and science fiction that's offered. Usually, the later at night it is, the lower the Rotten Tomatoes score of the thing I'm watching becomes. But it's just such. Oh my god! You spend what, $1 billion on this, and you couldn't get like a coherent story and good writing. Like
some of the worst dialogue of the whole.
It's atrocious.
Whole season in episode 7. I literally, Brian, I literally thought of you this most recent episode. I was like, if Brian does make it to this episode, he might turn it off in the middle of this.
Like,
I gave up after 3 or 4, and I'm like, I'll just watch the reviews because we're not even doing the podcast on it anymore. So it's like, what do I care?
So I was thinking, it's like, dude, I really like. I've been trying to like think in my week how I can schedule in 90 minutes to talk about this show. Like, fuck. I don't really have the time to do it. And 2, I don't really want to find the time to create it because it's just pretty brutal.
I just feel like you can't overcome bad writing. Like you can't do it. It's just never, it's never enough. Well, who went Lamar? Okay. Let's see what it thinks. Guess what? Can you guess who it's going to want?
A-Chain.
A-Chain. So A-Chain and Allen are at the top right now. But didn't we have one of these A-Chain and Allen teams?
I was going to say, can we skip A-Chain?
Yeah, it says Allen, A-Chain, then Harrison. You want to just do Harrison?
Yeah, although I'm worried that in the end, this becomes Harrison Mason is going to be like a super popular combo.
I see. So now that you have Harrison, it says Allen. And then it says Allen and A-Chan.
What about Cook? What's my EV with Cook?
Cook is the 4th choice. You want to just do Cook?
Let's do that. The difference between premium and the caddy on endgame is you don't get any of the videos. You don't get in the Discord with the caddy. You just get the caddy. And premium is the full-on endgame experience.
Premium's the videos. Premium's the videos.
And the Discord, right?
And Discord, yeah.
Caddies. So back to the important stuff. Rings of Power. Can we
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. If I don't think about it at all, visually it looks great.
It's amazing.
I really enjoy. Brian does not agree with me on this, but I really enjoy Galadriel. I think she's great.
Just because you think she's hot.
No, I think she's also a great actress. I also think I think Charlie Vickers, who plays Sauron, is also like every scene. Like he actually is able to elevate the shitty dialogue. But then basically everything else is pretty bad.
It's, the analogy I would make, it's like watching somebody else play the most amazing computer game. Like that's sort of what it's like for me. It's like I'm watching my buddy go through like the latest Lord of the Rings game like 2 generations from now.
With that NPC, language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still gonna freaking watch it because
I'm still gonna watch it. They got a customer in me.
Yeah, but it's so disappointing. It could have been so much better.
Well, there is a new Peter Jackson coming with
Uh-huh.
The Run of the Roaring.
No, the Hunt for Gollum, and it's going to be directed or produced by what's his name, Davis.
From the
Saying Brandon Ayuk, C.J. Stroud, Brian Thomas.
So
Richardson.
if we take Stroud, I'm gonna take Schultz.
Right.
Or Dell.
Right.
I'm not gonna take I ran.
Ayuk is winning at the moment.
I'm an idiot. I put my cue in the wrong order, and I was not
Kincaid. It's okay. We'll recover. Now that you took Kincaid, it says Ayuk, Stroud, Kyler. That's interesting. Ayuk, Johnson, Moore, Cooper. Ayuk winning. DJ.
You know what? This team is already worth $0. So I'll add. If you can't go lower than 0. Underdog's not going to call me up to make me give them more money. So I'll put Ayuk in there. We really well. I gave an Acolyte 6 out of 10. Brian gave it, I think, like a legit 0 out of 10.
I have not seen it.
Oh God,
I have not seen that one.
The
thing I'm excited to see is the new Disney thing with Han.
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Or the
Skeleton
Crews.
The witch one, the Agatha one.
Oh yeah, I don't do any of the Marvel stuff. So
you don't do the Marvel thing,
yeah.
Because she is legitimately extremely entertaining to watch.
See, the Dune movies are such evidence that it is possible to adapt legacy content and make it great and make it new and make it fresh because those movies are so good.
I agree. Those are very well done and quite different from the books in significant ways.
Have you read all the books, Dan?
No, I've only read the main one.
Oh,
but like
man.
the character
they get crazy.
Like they go out of their mind. Yeah.
The 4th, 5th, and 6th books are some of the craziest fiction I've ever read.
Yeah,
second season of Andor is coming, I believe.
Yeah. See, Andor is a funny case because like so much of the secondary Marvel stuff I think is pretty bad, and I think Andor is one of the best. And ironically, it did not need to be in the Star Wars universe at all.
At all, no.
Right? It was just a good like suspense spy, like
heist.
Yeah, heist-y
Yeah,
thing.
that was the secret. Which is like, when Disney bought Star Wars, that's what they said they were going to do. Was going to become like, oh, we're going to do a comedy in Star Wars, we're going to do a war movie in Star Wars, we're going to do a prison movie in Star Wars. And really the only thing they succeeded at was Rogue One was the war movie, and it was great. And Andor was great. And season 1 of Mandalorian was also pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Mando stuff.
Here, Brian, that's a good plug. If you guys liked those shows, you can go and search on Patreon right now, and Brian and I have reviews of all of those programs.
If you want to burn even more EV, wait till you hear what it thinks we should take.
Kyler.
Oh no, it will say Purdy. It says Purdy. Purdy is number 1. Boring. I thought I was going to do something stupider. Yeah, Brock.
You know what?
Anthony Richardson is.
I was gonna say I am, because this team is already worth $0. I'm gonna take Anthony Richardson.
Okay, it actually thought that was only a 50-cent punt.
And it's more than in my opinion. It's actually, that was the only thing I could have done to make that team a team that could make money, because Richardson is not going to get drafted this week, and that team had Brandon Ayuk. So really, what we need 35 unowned Anthony Richardson points.
Well, you did okay in Brian's adjusted projection system, despite making the left turn.
What do you get?
He got $5 and a penny.
Okay,
so he made that sweet 1 cent.
So we made $30 the first hour, and right now we're on a penny every 15 minutes.
Beautiful.
Solid.
All right. We're doing another?
We can. Just give me 1 minute for me to.
This should tell you. Shouldn't you be able to get a decent? Oh, you gotta do baseball.
Baseball locks in 10 minutes. By the way, Davis, if you're playing.
I'm only playing for the crowns, but I have Champions League showdown lineups that I have to make.
Oh,
it's the life of a streamer. What am I gonna do?
I'll be ready in like 1 minute. So if you join one, I'll be there in time.
Don't you think this tool should be able to judge what a realistic ROI should be too?
Yeah,
kinda. Should be pretty close.
Yeah, obviously it's always going to overestimate. But you need to model your opponent's fucking up.
The
right?
answer
Otherwise,
to
your EV would just be break even, right? If I just run it, like by definition, you're going to be break even,
right?
Strategy against itself, right? So
the answer
go ahead.
to are these teams doing well is not really.
They're
not. They haven't been. I definitely think I'm doing weird stuff relative to the field. Like one of the guys in Pete's Discord was like running post-contest sims, and my teams did not look good.
Huh.
I think probably what I'm doing is I'm giving up, particularly when I'm drafting on my own, I'm giving up a lot of points of projection relative to what my opponents are doing. I'm scrolling on almost every team. But even something like, so Jaden Reed didn't project that well last week. Yeah. Distributions of results. So I'm really not doing good then. Like, because I think I've had one top 100 team yet through 4 weeks, which is like, that's pretty bad. What can you do?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say you can make any estimate on these sims yet, because we've had a very small sample size. We switch between projection sources frequently, and we've drafted like 5 teams a week.
Yeah. I think the thing to look at would be to save the teams you get with the sim product and then sim those out against the field. I think that's the best you can do for right now.
The more I think about it, Dan, is this more a conversation for off air, but we should probably at least have like two separate things, like one balanced, one exploitative, or just the exploitative stuff. Do post lock analysis, because it's very, but this is very distinctly different from DFS, where we have a lot of information that our opponents are doing, as opposed to DFS, where we're all guessing what our opponents are going to be doing.
Yeah.
Simply even ADP.
Yeah. So I can, this is related to what I wanted to talk about, what I'm working on next with this tool, which is beginning to hybridize it. So I've got my tool like saving all of its own drafts against itself, which is just so I can look at them. So we can look at one of those if we're interested of what those look like. But I want to start saving every draft I do and then incorporating that data into the field that I use to create the simulation. So it's the first step to having an exploitative approach in my software. So the obvious thing you can do is, like, every time there's a draft that you complete, you save it, and then you throw that in the pool, right? Because that draft happened. But obviously, when you're looking at a battle royale with 67,000 entries, adding a single draft is not going to move the needle. So I have some ideas for how to try and extrapolate from a smaller number of drafts to create a pool that more represents the field, and then have your software play against that, which would be sort of an exploitative approach. So that's what I'm going to be working on this week, and hopefully have some interesting data for next week. Because I think that's where it gets really interesting. Like, how do you adapt based on what other people are doing? in your drafting process. Yeah.
The ADP model we're using now too is also more closer to that. It's not exploitive, obviously, because you're still using balance equilibrium strategies, but it's definitely probably guessing the field more likely than it is than if you put Cardi's numbers in there, for example, or something.
I think that has to be. Yeah, I think that has to be. So, yeah, I have a lot of work to do there. It's it's a hard problem. This is a hard problem to do.
Dan, the future of my life, it kind of depends on these sims. This is supposed to be my secret weapon, dude. This is supposed to be the secret for how I make back all the money that I shipped into best ball entries that are dead now that Rashee Rice is out for the year.
Well, I think I'm down. Let me see. I'm down like 50% in NFL battle royales. Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that feels like the mean result you would expect without a win. It's just it's very hard to make money without a win, right?
Sure.
Like Peter this last weekend just won $10,000.
Yeah.
If I gave you a line right now, what amount of money do you, if you know that he max enters battle royale every week for the rest of the year, not making any assumptions about Pete as a drafter, just a guy who made $10,000 one week, and he max enters the rest of the way, what's your line on how much money he ends up at the end of the year? Like you really got to get first.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
It's much smoother in battle royale than it is DFS, though.
That's true.
He would only got like $1,000 back, if that, in DFS.
Yeah, at least this battle royale top prize, it's 10%, whereas a typical contest of this size on DraftKings for regular DFS would be like 30%.
What are you easy? What are you saying you disagree with? Like I'm not making an assumption on Pete being a good drafter. I think Pete is a favorite to make money because I think Pete is a good drafter. It's not about him. I'm treating him as a just a test case. Yeah. So it is if you're playing kind of balanced. If you are playing exploitatively, you can lose more.
Yeah.
Like just for example, if you know of a guy who just like takes 30% of Rashee Rice, like just for example,
right?
Like you could lose more that way.
Exploitatively might be different. Might be have a wide portfolio though, Davis. I think you're mixing balance with like portfolio stuff. So,
but I think the point is, I think it is accurate to say that like a lot of where's your EV coming from? Like if your EV is coming from doing a small number of things that you think are really plus EV, then it's very easy to lose everything. Like, let's just say Rice was hardly drafted at all. I mean, that would be ridiculous. And you're just slamming him because you correctly thought it was tremendous value. Well, now your fate is tied to one player, which is, a philosophical thing about whether you want to do that or not. But
that could happen in a balance strategy as well.
That's true.
No, I guess they would take Rice then.
The difference is, the big difference is if you play a balanced strategy in conventional DFS, you very naturally get a mix of things. That's not true the way I've been doing it here because it's assuming everybody else is playing a similar strategy. But if the field isn't, you're going to wind up with a lot of the same picks over and over again. That's the fundamental difference, right? It's going to say, in a balanced strategy, this guy is just a slam here. And then the next draft, it's like, oh, look, I get to pick him again because nobody's taking him early enough, right? So it's sort of a soft exploitation where it's like it thinks it knows better than the field about this particular pick, so you keep getting it, which is probably, hopefully, some of the reason why I've some of my picks have been really bad,
right. But that's why I'm just kind of trying to explain to Davis or whoever that balance doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have 25% of every player or something like that.
That's true.
And furthermore, yes, if you're playing an exploitive strategy and it loves Travis Kelce, you're going to get a ton of Travis Kelce. But there are probably, especially in these battle royales, a lot of the exploitation might be come from combos and stuff like that. There's only 6 picks. There could be multiple players who are plus EV that you might mix and match. It might not just be all Travis Kelce. Maybe it's a little bit of him, a little bit of somebody else. It is possible, is all I'm saying. So, like, even in an exploitive way, you could still be diverse.
That's true. I think that's true. Hopefully, I'll learn some more with this new thing I want to try. I'm very keen to get it rolling. It might solve a couple different problems at once if it goes the way I want it to go. But anyway, little preview.
We will find out. All right, let's hop in another one. 125, 30 draft number.
This guy's obviously not paying attention to the EV we've been rolling out on these bros.
You know, Brian, I tried to cash my sim EV at the bank, and they refused to honor it.
You know,
the bank examiner told you to fuck off.
Speaking of elections, I think we can all agree that if a candidate would let us cash our EV, we would definitely all vote for that person.
Oh man, someone's tuning out. Okay, got the 105. See, in my dreams, Nico Collins would be able to be selected here, but not going to happen this week.
I've only got.
I need Leone to come out with projections that Tank Dell coming back to lineup makes Nico look worse.
I've only done a few hundred drafts total for the NFL season so far. I think. How many have I done? 518 entries total for NFL. Most of those concentrated on the 2 gamers because you can just bang those out.
Yeah,
and those ones are going to be very volatile. I would imagine.
You know what's weird? So like I was thinking about this. There's going to be something that just like for you, Dan, the way you draft would be kind of hard for the 2 gamers because so often they are going to be won by an Isaiah Likely, like just a very random performance that is so hard to put into your projections because it's so far off of the projections, you know?
Well, I do try and make sure that the range of outcomes for different kinds of players is reasonably representative when I sim things out myself. So it should be in there.
Wow. Does it want us to slam? It's probably giving us a $7 team right here.
Did somebody fall?
Henry from 2.5 to 5.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah. It wants Henry. Yeah, it'll take Henry.
It's going to be one of my only Henry teams in the whole contest.
It only thinks you got about $5. I think because.
God, are we so rich?
Because of what's going to come next. I think it's. After you get these 2 picks in, I think it thinks you're just losing a lot of.
Well, spoiler alert.
We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we need a big draft because we're on pace for like 4 cents this hour. So
yeah, we got to fix our fuck.
Okay.
DMC 72 just outed himself as a sharp drafter. Sadly.
You have Derrick Henry, so guess
Lamar.
what? It wants freaking
Lamar.
HN again. It wants HN and then Lamar. Lamar next. You want to just take Lamar?
How many cents does it give Debo?
Debo and Lamar are close, but HN is winning.
All right, I'm taking Debo. Yeah.
The one chance you'd have to get a Henry Lamar stack and he just passes it up.
Do those guys even correlate? I feel like they're like super negatively correlated.
Henry's playing wide receiver this week.
Oh yeah.
He's switching it up.
Can you imagine?
Now that I know that.
Let's just line up. Can you imagine they just line up Derrick Henry in the slot?
Why not?
It's probably better than Rashad Bateman. Yes, I sadly did watch the Ravens game as I was 8 legs into my streak on Underdog, and I took the Josh Allen higher passing yards. So sadly, I was watching. Normally, I don't even stay up for the primetime games. Like I'm so beat by the end of Sunday, but I did stay up, and I hated every moment of it.
I did pick 6 this week. Got 2 out of 6 right.
They gave me pick 6 gave me a 20% deposit bonus.
Nice.
Like for the DFS side, which is pretty nice, but fucking joke's on me because I've yet to win one.
it's still outlawed in Colorado, I think.
Yeah, probably.
It's so dumb. There. Oh, you almost got H-Chan anyway.
We almost got H-Chan anyway. It's gonna want Kittle now.
Let's see. Oh no, it's actually not. And this actually it wants James Cook, and it wants Stephon Diggs, and it wants Kittle third. So the fact that your next guy has no running backs kind of makes Cook make more sense because he's likely to get taken.
Because we could take Diggs coming around, probably.
But there's very close between the two. But that's
man. I think we are. I think people are actually watching the 30K winner get drafted right now. I can forecast in my mind how the rest of this is going to go. Oh my god! I think we did it. We're gonna have to get lucky on whoever we take at tight end. But I think we did just draft the winner.
What are you gonna do when you've live stream an actual winner? Are you gonna make a big video?
Yeah, I literally already have the thumbnail made for how I made $30,000 on Underdog. Yeah, I've got it all planned out. I think it'll be really good for my channel. I think it'll be really good for my brand. So I'm
okay. I recognize this username here.
He seems like he knows what he's doing.
I think this is a fair player. Yeah, he decided to take Love now rather than risk getting Reid without Love, which kind of makes sense to me. And then he took Wicks. Okay, so you're up, and now it says it's listing Kittle and Diggs up top.
I'm gonna do Diggs and hope that we get lucky with the tight end. That is what I'm gonna do.
Like it.
All right, Stephon Diggs. Anyone have any hot Champions League takes for me? I'm a little lost here.
No.
Wait, what did you say? I missed something.
I'm trying to set soccer DFS lineups right now.
Oh god.
I don't think I could name one player, much less give you a hot take.
You could name one player.
Wait, I know one. Pele.
Nailed it.
I don't think he's rosterable. I'm gonna. Can you scroll down the draft board for you?
Yes.
I guessed that one. Actually, that would be a good no ball quiz. You need to guess to know the name of the player based on the color and the first 3 letters of the name.
That would be pretty good. Yeah, I've seen this guy's name a lot. I think
he seems like a sharp
he's quite a good player.
Yeah. But I think that's what he was. I assume that either he snap locked.
Oh, he took Wicks, dude.
Yeah, he did.
What a ball knower.
I wonder if he was considering waiting on Love to get another. So
do we want to take CJ Stroud?
No, we do not, because the next guy already has a quarterback.
Right. So Bowers. We did get lucky at
Bowers. We take Bowers. Yeah, Bowers.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we did just draft the $30,000 team. So everyone get ready for the video. The video on Monday is going to be entitled "How I Won $30,000 After the Computer Solved Fantasy Football with NerdyTenor and Brian Hooper (EndGame Syndicate Forever."
I'm going to let it cook. You can click it right away, but I'll let it cook to get a more accurate.
Yeah, I am curious. I am curious if maybe it does want Purdy.
No, it wants Stroud. Purdy is in second place, but it wants Stroud.
Wow.
Yep. Wants Stroud.
Is this team worth $17,000, $18,000?
$9.91.
Wow. Okay.
God. You know what's funny is I find that to be more realistic than when the computer says it's worth like $27 or whatever.
Absolutely.
Like $9 feels much more directionally accurate.
That's right. It's within the realm of plausibility.
Yeah.
No. 23 was dead on.
23 was dead on.
So you would ask, like, what is it worth to draft Nico first?
Yeah.
Let's just run that now. I'll let it cook for a while.
Okay.
And we'll see. It's still not going to be very accurate, but if I just let it go, I guess it really doesn't like not having a running back on the first pick, because it thinks you're just gonna miss out on too much value when it comes back to you.
That makes total ball knowing sense to me, because as we get further into the season and running back roles become more defined, there are way more wide receivers I can talk myself into in an average slate. Like I'm like, if I really get in jail, I can take Tank Dell. If I'm really in jail, I can take Roma Dunze. At running back, you get to about running back 10, and you're like, I don't see how this guy in a million iterations can ever score enough fantasy points to get in the winning lineup in BR.
And just anecdotally, what I've seen matches what you just said, where, like, let's say you end up with Stroud in the third round for whatever reason, and then, his top receivers disappear. Like you're never drafting Tank Dell without Stroud. But it definitely does suggest him once you have Stroud and his other pairings have disappeared. It'll be like, oh yeah, we can take him as the sixth pick. The sort of low projected but correlated piece that we were talking about earlier with baseball. It's like, yeah, I can take him some of the time, but it'll like never take it by itself, which is kind of what you would expect.
So what's the EV?
Oh, so I've been running on this first pick. So it's still cooking, but it has Derrick Henry, $5.85, Jordan Mason, $5.14, Kyron Williams, $4.36, and then Nico Collins, $4.12.
So you're losing money.
It really wants you to take a running back first, and then it's
what if I project Nico Collins for 26 dog app points?
then it would be worth a lot of money.
That's my personal projection. So
there you go.
Can you put a dollar EV on the structural decision? So basically a second running back or a third wide receiver? I'm assuming no.
It just all depends, like, what falls to you and how is your team constructed. I think it's very hard to answer that in a vacuum. I think what would be interesting to look at, and one of the things that I need to do after I do the thing I told you I was going to do, is to make some more query capabilities so we can answer those kinds of questions. Like, when you have a team that has two running backs, what can we say about it? Like, what does it look like in other respects? Like, because I think the shape of the team, like all of the things are interrelated, right? If you take two running backs early, you're much more likely to get sort of more either punty quarterback or punty receiver correlated with punty quarterback, right? But then it really depends on like how there's just so many interlocking features. It's hard to make any sort of general statements without really digging in, I think. But those are the kinds of things I would look at.
What kind of processing power are you using to cook these up?
So I generally cook on like machines with like 64 cores on them. So they're working pretty hard.
I literally couldn't even begin to tell you what that means.
There's just like, your phone probably has 2 cores in it. And your desktop
compare your rig to an ASIC miner. What's how much more powerful is an ASIC miner?
But those are using GPUs, so it's not a one-to-one.
It's a different thing. Yeah.
So
guys, I got to head on out.
All right,
Okay.
We'll see you.
I got to head out.
Bye, Brian.
Later, guys.
Bye, Brian.
My home rig is not very impressive. I'm computing these all in the cloud, so they're all on cloud servers. Yeah.
That's so funny. I literally that is beyond. Like, to me, the cloud is like where my iPhone stores its photos, not the ability to like run complex computational stuff.
So just to give you a rough comparison. My desktop machine, which is like 10 years old, but perfectly fine for what I do, has 4 cores on it. And these machines I'm using have 64. But it's really just a matter of like how fast do I want to build stuff and how many sims do I think are enough for us to actually run this quasi real time.
That makes. I mean, that makes sense. Are you giving up? Are you giving up time equity on this? Like, if you were not doing it on the cloud, if you were doing it all like literally on a machine that you had, would it be faster?
No, it'd be much slower because I don't have enough compute power.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything I write is all I try to.
You gotta add the EV of drafting BRs while playing poker at the casino. Like if you're playing 2-5 at the casino and you are stacking EV on top of EV.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, let's knock out at least one more, and then we can get you out of here.
All right.
I would like to. Have we had a turn pick yet? Have we had a 6-7?
We did. We had one early. Yeah.
Okay.
We did.
All right. Well, I guess. Wait. Did the computer end up cooking how much equity we gave up taking here? And I asked for a 6-7. We got a 6-7. What equity it cooked up based on taking Nico 101?
Yeah, it was like it went from like $5.60 something to like $4.12 or something. It just to my eye, it looked like it just really didn't want to not get an early running back.
Well, look at the running backs. The computer thinks that Devin Achane is the best click on the board.
Yeah.
That's actually surprising because it should like wide receiver more there because it likes Achane so much at 14.9. There are 8 games in this slate, I believe.
Oh, 10. I think it's 10.
10.
Yeah.
Cleveland, Washington, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Buffalo, Houston, Indy, Jacksonville, Carolina, Chicago, Miami, New England, Arizona, San Francisco, Raiders, Broncos, Packers, Rams.
I'm going to be at the Raiders-Broncos game.
Are you?
Yeah.
That is not a great game to go to, Dan.
It's the only one that fit on the family schedule. Literally the only one we could do.
I mean, look, you get to see Brock Bowers. That'll be fun. You get to tell your family about Brock Bowers. It's so funny going to NFL games, particularly if you're playing a lot of DFS. Like, actually, is terrible. It's a really bad experience.
It's true.
I used to go when I lived in Kansas City. I would go to Chiefs games quite a bit, and man, I mean, obviously it was very fun. The Chiefs were very good, but man, did it really stunk to play DFS.
So it wants Achane, Harrison, Jaden Reed popped a little bit. Ooh, that's fun. Do you want to just?
I think I'm gonna overrule.
Achane, DK is in there.
I want to take Metcalf and Reid.
Oh, Metcalf is listed first right this second. Quick, click it before it changes his mind.
All right, I'm gonna do it, and then I'm also going to take Jaden Reed.
Okay. I'll let you take it. I'll let you know what it thought.
There really needs to be a grown man button that you can push when it's DK Metcalf to like immediately make your results like 10 better. I'm going to try and make an intelligent and cogent point for the first time, which is that projections are actually missing a little bit of something on DK Metcalf. I don't know, probably in catch rate, my guess would be in how projections are getting made on Metcalf because they are using him quite differently this year. I believe his target share is kind of roughly the same as last year, but he's getting used differently in different parts of the field. I think projections are going to be a smidge low on him for, I don't know, another week or so.
Interesting. So that second pick, it had Jaden Reed second. So
okay,
this is
after
basically
Achane.
No, believe it or not, after Josh Allen.
That to me, that is the way the Sims Does the second pick recommend? It does, right? The
Yeah.
second pick recommend.
Yeah, your second pick depends on the first one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's very interesting to me. Again, this is very anecdotal based on drafting these and the observations. I just sort of assume waiting on your quarterback selections is way better in this because quarterbacks are just not nuking these slates like Love and Fields did last week. But those are both last round picks. Like the Allens and the Lamars and the Mahomeses and the Hurtses have not, because scoring distributions are down. So the nukes from those quarterbacks are so rare.
I also just I think the reasoning is very similar to just conventional season long. Like the drop off is just milder.
Yeah.
Than any other position.
Or salary cap DFS, like Geno Smith versus Kyler Murray, Easy meant the recommendation. Oh, well, let's make this pick first.
Yeah. So we got 2 to make.
Oh. Well, I really hope it wants Jaden Daniels.
It does. Jaden Daniels is first right now.
All right, Jaden Daniels.
Yep.
I would like Jaden Daniels to be my most drafted quarterback this week. ADP is not an input into this sim.
Well, no, it is because we're using Brian's ADP based projection.
Yes. So the projection, I should say, the projection we are feeding in this week is ADP based in a way that Brian did it in a way that I don't understand.
Right. So the next thing it wants is Stephon Diggs. Or Hill.
A 3 wide receiver. I think this is the first 3 wide receiver team.
3 wide receiver team. All right.
Not gonna lie, I do really like this. I think this is very strong.
So this pattern actually makes sense to me, and it's one of the patterns you see where it's like once you get screwed on one position, like we got really hosed on running back just because of we took 2 receivers, right? Yeah. Once that happens, it's often the case that you wait until the very end to pick that position because you've already given up all of the equity at that position. So you might as well just keep going with the thing that is more valuable, because everybody else is, because they all took running backs, now they need to take receivers. So you might as well just gobble up what you can.
Starve the beast. Classic starve the beast. Take 6 quarterbacks in your home league and force everyone else to trade with you.
Yeah, I mean, that dynamic is most obvious in the 2-gamer, where you'll see an inexperienced drafter in one of these 2-game drafts, which is radically different than what we're doing here. And so let's say there's only 3 highly projected running backs, and then there's a big drop off. So that means somebody's not going to get a good running back. That's just math, because there's 4 people in those drafts. So let's say it goes, receiver, running back, receiver, and then 2 running backs. And now the third guy is like, oh shit, all of the good running backs have disappeared. And then he drafts a running back next because oh shit, I need a running back, and they're going, but that's the exact opposite of what you should do. That the damage has been done. Now you need to shift somewhere else where you can actually pick up some equity. So
this guy picking third, Topes 1, he has, I don't know what the sim is going to say, but he is this is a crazy good team.
Oh, okay. I'll run it when we get there. Okay, so Burrow went. So now it's gonna say Bowers. Yeah, it says Bowers.
Now I'm curious if it's gonna tell us to take Brian Robinson Jr. with Jaden Daniels. I'm curious what running back wants us to take. I think I'm probably not going to listen to it, but I'm curious to what it says.
Okay, it doesn't know about Jonathan Taylor. If Jonathan Taylor has an issue, right? So after Jonathan Taylor, it says Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah. So then it says James Conner, and they're close. All right. Well,
Go
I'm
mixing
gonna
here.
do a little ball knowing here, and I'm gonna give up some EV, and I'm gonna select Travis Etienne Jr.
Okay. Well, it was in the list, but
He was in the list.
but it was last.
Yeah. That is not surprising to me.
So that one, it only thought you got like $2.80.
Well, I punted off with ETN.
So this team here is the one you think is awesome? Or
Yeah,
the one
team 3.
Oh, team 3.
See
Okay,
what he does.
we're on team 4 now. So,
well, I actually just cost him some EV by taking Bowers. If I would have taken someone other than Bowers, I would have given him some EV back.
right. So this is the
If
team.
I would have like taken Zach Ertz there to try and pair with Jane Daniels, I would have given him some EV back.
So it doesn't love this team no matter what he picks. And that's,
because the ADP regression is not going to love the Wicks pick, I think.
That's probably it. Yeah, let's see. So he's probably going to take what? Is he going to take Kraft or not?
Yeah.
Yep. So let's look at. So it just. Yeah, it's probably just the regression, the points it's playing with. It doesn't love. In fact, I can look at what it thinks Wicks is compared to.
Well, it thinks Wicks is the 17th best wide receiver when really he's like the 10th best wide receiver.
Yeah. So Andrews went. Yeah. This is a funny one. And you'll see this sometime. It didn't love anybody's team. It thought they were all between meh and okay.
That would kind of make sense in a real heavy Badge Bros draft, where no one's really making any mistakes. Everyone's kind of staying in their lane, and you're just kind of trading rake with one another.
Yeah.
Which that's going to happen in gambling games of skill, where everyone kind of is following the rules of the known rules of the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
right. Do you want to do one more? Or do you want to get out of here?
I can do one more.
All right. Let's do one more. Then we will get out of here. And wow, I am already like 30 some drafts in, 34 drafts in.
On a Tuesday.
I ran out of time last week. I drafted 30 on Sunday morning, doing like 5 at a time.
Hey, you're first again.
Another Jordan Mason team.
Yeah, it looks like.
Not gonna give up the Nico Collins ADP, though. Conceptually, I do like it because it's just would be the only way to get 30% of your entries having Nico Collins on it.
Yeah, I had this in a 2-gamer where I was just never getting one of the star receivers. And mostly I'm just going to do whatever it thinks the highest EV thing is. But even then I was like, I got to get one. So I forced one in. That one didn't cash either. For the record.
This is such great advice. And I know that this guy's a really good player. Like he gets good results in these tournaments. Yeah. The key with doing 150, it's such a best ball mania thing too. Like when you're doing drafts all summer, is just not get bored. Just taking what the room gives you, taking the highest projected guys, not trying to be like, oh, well, I got to make sure I get a Daniel Jones, Wan'Dale Robinson stack in. Like just being like, you know what? No, I just am going to take the best plays.
You can take Henry or Mason here. They're so close in his regression that it's like a coin toss. So
well, that I will be playing exploitatively, where I won't take Henry there at all, and I will take Mason there 100% of the time. Same thing with Nico. It's the way you can use these BRs if you're someone who max entered the best ball stuff is you can really do it one of two ways. You can try and get even on the guys who are killing you in best ball. So like, oh, Derrick Henry's killing me because I don't have him. I could try and get even. Or you can just use it as a martingale and just be like, well, eventually Derrick Henry's going to stop killing me. And when he stops killing me in BR, then I'm going to double win. My advance rate's going to go up and I'm gonna have good results in BR.
Yeah, makes perfect
So I'm
sense.
doing. It doesn't make perfect sense, but it is the way I'm playing. Yeah. What if I've done? I mean, I haven't taken David Bell, but I have done stuff like this. Obviously, where like last week I took a couple Xavier Worthies. He was like the wide receiver 27 or whatever, projecting for like 9 points. But I did take him a couple times, literally because what if he does score 2 touchdowns? Then I'm gonna want to have had him, which is probably not a great way to play. But what can you do? Topes won. Yeah, these are all good drafters. This is a full badge room.
Yeah.
Which probably all the ones we do are probably every time that we do these. I'm assuming we're picking up very few of Joe's 6-pack on his lunch break, which is whatever. It's fine. Josh Allen drafter at the turn. He says, I believe in the Sims. I'm taking Josh Allen.
Yeah, I can sort of backseat drive some of these draft picks.
So the thing I don't love about Lamar is what I like about quarterbacks. The stacking is it solves 2 spots in your lineup of 6.
Yeah,
and I don't think that the Lamar thing solves it because I think he's probably better off without Flowers and Andrews or Likely or whoever.
Well, the other side is like if you pick Lamar, like you're sort of indifferent. Like I can stack with him, I cannot stack with him.
That's true. That is a structural edge.
There is that sort of. I don't know if it's worth money, but it is sort of comforting. It's like, well, I'm not going to get screwed with this quarterback. I wonder how much of it is that. Like people are like, well, if I get Lamar, then I can do. Okay, here we go. It's going to recommend Lamar, I bet. Yep.
It's going to be Lamar. It's going to be Lamar A-Chain.
It wants. Oh wow, it's a lot of mixing, a lot of choices. It likes Lamar, Jacobs, Kittle, Neighbors, HN. Lamar.
After I take Lamar, what is it going to say? Put Lamar in and give it an extra 5 seconds to cook.
Yeah,
and then I want you to tell me the dollar value on Neighbors versus the dollar value on A-Chain.
Wow, Josh Jacobs is winning. Why is that? That's really interesting.
Well, it's a crazy good matchup. Is it a good combo? Maybe
it's a good combo in my field. Josh Jacobs is the winner at the moment. It's Jacobs and then HN.
How many dollars am I giving up with Neighbors?
Neighbors like $1.50.
All right. Well,
Neighbors
the room. There you go. The room. The 5 of you can split up my $1.50. You can buy an extra ranch pack at a McDonald's when you go this week.
How many chicken nuggets does that get you these days? I haven't been.
Not $1.50 split 5 ways doesn't even get you 1 chicken nugget. No chance. No chance. Yeah. Not to get political. Not to get political here on the stream, but you can't even get 1 chicken nugget for 1/5 of $1.50. Again, I think this is an interesting element. Maybe some week we should create enough time to do this, where we should do this stream on Tuesday and we should try and do a stream on Thursday or Friday when we have the projections and compare what the computer was telling us to do on Tuesday versus what it's telling us to do on Thursday. Because my guess is, again, Neighbors is going to be an ADP riser when projections come out. He's going after Marvin Harrison and Debo right now. I bet when ETR puts their projections out on Thursday, Neighbors might project as a 1st-round pick in ETR stuff, and they obviously are the biggest market driver for this stuff.
Yep.
Their subscribers are big in these contests.
Yep.
As they should. Did any of the other teams look good? This team, my favorite right now is 4: Nico Collins, Jaden Reed, Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, we'll do some rating.
I need to. Normally, I don't put rankings in, but I think I'm getting a little bit too scatterbrained. I need to put some rankings in because Kenneth Walker is like a 2-3 turn pick in my estimation. I think.
Oh, interesting. So it's going a round too late. Round and a half. Trey McBride.
I would have him over Jacobs and maybe even over Marvin Harrison Jr. like for a flex.
Oh shit, I fucked up. It was Kittle and Diggs. Okay, I'm back on.
Kittle, Diggs, McBride, Ayuk. Always glad to see someone else click Brandon Ayuk in my rooms. Although definitely one of these weeks, it is really going to suck. One of these weeks, Brandon Ayuk is going to absolutely had to have been the guy that you needed in this contest, and I'm definitely not going to win that week.
All right. So we're ignoring Jonathan Taylor.
We are ignoring Jonathan Taylor.
It says Tyreek Hill and Zay Flowers are the top-rated ones right now.
Okay, so this I think this is now directionally. I'm prepared to say whatever tweaks you've made in the last 2 weeks or so, it's liking stacking more.
Yeah, I think at the very beginning, I'm not sure. It's hard to track. I'm changing things so quickly, it's hard to know. Now it says Tyreek Hill. And then it says Deontay Johnson. And then it says some running backs.
Give me a running back name it likes.
Brian Robinson Jr.
All right, sold. This team is I went off the board for the last one of the stream. I stopped listening to the computer. I just don't. This is not even a ball knowing take or a data knowing take. This is just being a dumbass. But I just want 2 running backs on every team because every team just runs the ball so much.
Plus it's
no team is having 2 wide receivers get there anymore.
Plus it's half PPR. So
yeah, I mean this is really such a touchdown game. Like this game we're playing is like such a touchdown based game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. I hadn't thought of it that way, but yes.
Like whoever you are really overweight on in BR, you should do a 6-leg pick'em where you take the hires on all their touchdowns. You should take higher rushing touchdown, higher passing touchdown, higher receiving touchdown for all of them.
Let's see.
All right, we've got one final pick.
It's just a tight end, isn't it? Yeah.
Just a tight end. Bowers went, so it's going to be Tucker Kraft. But I should take, someone said this in the chat earlier, I forget who it was, but Njoku is the much better pick because it can become Tucker Kraft if you want.
Oh, right.
So if he plays, you have a good play. And if it doesn't, then you've got optionality of, maybe, I don't know, maybe Mark Andrews doesn't play this week and Isaiah Likely becomes the best overall tight end play. But you definitely, I think, do want to work in some 6th round Q players early in the week, if possible.
Mm. All right.
Njoku went.
So now it's okay with Likely, and it's okay with Mayer and Kraft.
Mayer.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, it's just mixing things up here at the end because.
All right, I'm gonna take Evan Ingram. It's the same
Ingram,
thesis.
yeah, they're all in there. It's very close.
So either Ingram ends up being a good pick or he doesn't play. Sure. Yeah. The Wildcat, people do crazy stuff in the Wildcat. That's a $3 one. People do really, really interesting stuff there. All right, Dan, we can get you on your way. You can leave the NORAD bunker. Thank you for hanging out.
No, that was fun.
Yeah, that was good. All right, everyone. Have a great day. We will. I'll be back tomorrow. The stream it with Liam at 11 a.m. Central. I'll see y'all then. Have a great day. Adios.